Before starting this course on career counseling, it is extremely important to understand why you should take your career choice seriously. In this video, we will help you understand the importance of making the right career choice for yourself. So, why is your career choice so important? It is important because it determines a lot of things in your life, including number 1, quality of life. Your career choice plays a huge role in deciding where you live, how flexible your life is, and the kinds of things you are able to do in your free time. Number 2, identity. Ask any elder person about their career and they will tell you about it as a part of their identity. They'll say something like, I am a journalist, instead of, I report news. Notice how everybody asks you, what do you want to be when you grow up? And not, what do you want to do when you grow up? This shows that your career choice shapes your identity. Number 3, impact. Every human life touches thousands of other lives in so many different ways. If you select any 60-year-old person who is about to retire, take a time machine, find him as an infant, throw that infant into trash, and then come back to the present day, you'll find that a countless number of things around you have changed. So whatever career you choose, the world will be affected by it. Anything that determines your quality of life, your identity, and the impact that you make should be taken very seriously. And that includes your career choice also. So we hope that this short video could help you understand the importance of making the right career choice. Having done that, we will now move forward to start our career counseling course. We are pretty excited and we hope you are too. So, let's begin. See you.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 97 of Pro Bono's live podcast. सबको स्वागत है, and we are reaching towards the end, so definitely stay through the whole thing and watch. And of course, goes without saying, there's a lot to learn. So firstly, or to all the audience members, welcome to Aditya, Mr. Sen, thank you for coming, and of course, Vinayak for running the stream. So आज के हमारे guest हैं, after almost 3 months now, he is back for another episode. So Kapil Chatkara sir, thank you so much for coming back. Welcome back firstly. So Kapil sir's episode was episode 4, 4th from the beginning, and now he's back from 4th from the end. So I think that's his favorite number. So वो conspiracy theory हम लोग explore करेंगे. So Kapil sir, welcome back. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. I'm thinking about the numbers right now. So thank you for that glamorous entry 4th, and I'm back and all that. But thank you all. Hi all. Thanks Samant, Vinayak for running the stream, Mr. Sen, and Aditya, of course. So yes, I'm back. Today's topic is the importance of mental health in career, right? So
Right, sir. Kapil sir, firstly, because you were at the very beginning and we've grown an audience throughout the 100 days, so I'll make a quick introduction for you. So we let the new audience members
Sure. I was about to do that the topic is that, but let's start with the introduction. So you can do it or I can do it, whichever way is fine.
Right. So Kapil Chatkara sir is a full-time process consultant at IBM and a part-time psychologist with a specialization in counseling. His area of interest is studying the nature of mind, understanding the human mind as it is and determining its strength, weaknesses, tendencies, and inclinations. He has done hundreds of counseling sessions with more than 5,000 hours of experience in counseling, diversified into career, relationships, grief, behavioral, spiritual, suicide prevention, consulting, etc. His favorite approaches are existential and solution-centered, where he leverages his natural style, which goes in tandem with CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy. And today, Kapil sir, of course, I want you to initiate the topic. So over to you.
All right, thank you so much for giving that detailed introduction of me. So yes, thank you. Like Samant just talked about me, my career. So since this is about career again as usual, which is one of the specializations, key areas where Pro Bono works in. So in conjunction with how mental health influences or can make it better, how can we more conscious about what are the things that should be in our habit, and what are the ways we can probably find out what we should avoid thinking or going in cycles where we can understand the brighter side of everything that happens. So in my own introduction, those who are new and like Samant mentioned, so I am into IT, so I call it people and process consultant. So it all started with BE computer science when I didn't have too much clarity what I want to do in life, or but computer science was one of the streams in 98 when I joined engineering college, and it was more driven by the you can say wisdom or consciousness of my mother, that for him, he may be unclear right now, but there are few things that he can manage, and maybe computer science aligns better, and it is something looked like a very booming stream that time. So I did that. I was doing well. I'm still doing well in IT. I have no complaints, and I have learned a lot from that, and I'm applying that not only in IT industry, but also many things that you learn from any of your subjects, career paths, graduations, undergraduations, and different industries. You can apply it everywhere, because life is the only thing which is kind of omnipresent everywhere, right? So however, what I learned, that was the acquired knowledge, acquired skill. I am still able to manage it well. It lets me earn my bread and butter, but I was still kind of looking for my soul, or some passion which is natural, which is my natural expression, which free flows. So I realized I can listen well. So whenever you think of career, and you have to think from the point of view of mental clarity, since we are talking about mental health. So mental clarity, mental health means how aware you are about your own thoughts. The more clear you are, the more consistently you will be able to think about your weaknesses and strengths, your inclination tendencies. So and accordingly you will be able to take decision better. It happened with me later on. I did my own career counseling very late. I think I was 27, 28 when I started thinking I can do IT well based on all the acquired knowledge, good training, and stuff. But I thought there is something naturally that I can still do better. So I just introspected, did my own mental brainstorming, and found out that you have to sometimes think in a very simple way, like, what do I do well? I can listen well, I can talk more when required, and I can think of solutioning. So solutioning also aligned with my engineering science, plus engineering the mind or re-engineering the mind is also required. So I can solution. So if I can listen well, think of solutions, and communicate it better, I thought it is somewhere aligned with psychology. So therefore I chose psychology. And because I was talking more, counseling aligns well with these within the stream of psychology. So I think that's who I am. That's how I became a psychologist. And most of the time I spent psychology reading, doing, practicing over weekends, because I'm also committed to my full-time, job in IT as a process consultant, automation process consultant. But of course, everything, like I said, life is omnipresent. Whether it is your career, whether it is your home life, whether it is your office life, all the aspects, they have some degree of overlap. So you have to be aware and try to focus on your mental journey, because with life, your mental journey is something that is also omnipresent. Whether working you are working, but your mind may be somewhere else. You are thinking about something else, but you may be distracted from something that is around you. So again, mind is like a satellite. that can catch any signal, that can tune into any realm or dimension. So you should seek for your own mental clarity. If it is not there, if you are having some reluctance, not speaking out, hesitations, you think no one understands, then there are professionals. There is a very uh, advanced and mature industry in psychology. There are 15 streams in psychology, and there is psychiatry. So then there is neuroscience. So then there are philosophies. There is spirituality. So all you need to do is understand, reflect it, share it with others, communicate. Without communication, anyway, many professions are of no use. So you need to understand to communicate, whether it is through writing, through speaking, some way or the other. So that is going to be the pitch, and theme of today's topic. So I think that's it in the beginning. So I'll wait for more questions and interactions.
Definitely, thank you so much, Kapil sir. Great to have you back with us, and I think it's going to be a fantastic discussion and an important one, of course.
Yeah.
Firstly, I want to read out a few few comments. Firstly, Krishna, I think I'm seeing him after a long time. So, Krishna, welcome back. Who says, "Welcome, Kapil sir. Good evening, Pro Bono team. Great to have you back with us, and great to see you again, Krishna ji."
Thank you.
And Kapil Verma says, "There you go. We have two Kapils here." Hello, Kapil sir. It's always feels great to hear your thoughts. Can't speak today.
Okay. Thank you, Kapil. Thank you, Krishna.
And then Manu Maharaj says, "Good evening, sir. Pleasure to listen to you. Sir, I want to pursue mental health profession in my future so that I can provide solutions to the needy people." And Manu Maharaj will definitely get into the careers in this particular field, but we'll get to that topic as well. And Juhi Vishnoi, Juhi ma'am has been my teacher who has inspired me to take up psychology to become a teacher. So great to see you, ma'am, with us today finally.
Great.
So as Kapil sir rightly said, we'll be talking about maintaining mental health. And kyunki Pro Bono Career Guidance Company, we'll have to make it a bit more specific to talk about maintaining mental health for a great career and of course life in general. So firstly, to all the audience members, if you're uncomfortable, आपको कोई दिक्कत हो रही है, if to ask any question in the public or in the comment section in front of everyone else, you can absolutely send us a private message and Aditya will read those questions, keeping and respecting your anonymity. So with that being said, Kapil sir, I want to ask I want to take the honor of asking the first question, because I'll abuse the privilege of being the host.
Sure. And you're moderating really well.
Thank you. So back in 2017, this was around the second year of my college,
Okay.
2016, 2017. At that time, I don't know if it was clinical depression. I did not get diagnosed, but I was mentally not well for around 3 months. I did not attend college. So at that time, at least I realized that it was kind of an existential crisis, or at least close to an existential crisis, because I did not have a clear vision or an end goal per se. I wanted to be a teacher. Okay, sounds good. I wanted to become a weightlifting champion. Okay, sounds good. But what is the end purpose of why am I going to do that? So that wasn't there. And there were certain triggers and whatnot, which led me to a downward spiral for 3 months. Now, how do you relate that situation which I've been, where because of a clear lack of vision or a purpose, how does that lead one to a downward spiral, and how do you link that to career? Because obviously it affected my college, and also because I didn't know what I was going to do in the future.
Okay, very good question and more realistic. So my opinion is, first of all, starting backwards, purpose. So purpose should be there, but what kind of purpose? Can there be a generic purpose or a specific purpose? So if we say generic purpose, I believe in one generic purpose which applies to all. That is self-improvement or evolution or growth, okay, or through learning. So even if you had an experience which looked like depression or was clinical depression, because I avoid labeling people, and it can be one state in, let's say, in the age of 23 3 years, just saying hypothetically, or 24 years you had that experience, that doesn't mean the remaining 23 years can be ignored. So 1 year of a rough patch, we can label it. This labeling can limit us, restrict us sometimes in our thinking. And we are also doing this labeling to classify and understand the problem. We do understand that. Science does that very well. But the human that is going through that trouble at that particular time should have this one goal, one purpose that I said: self improvement, self evolution. So, in the realm of mental health, also, or the realm of mind, how mind works, I'm sure, Samantha, you would be thinking what is going on in my mind. And you are not able to probably decipher or understand what are the different thoughts, why same thoughts keep coming, why the thoughts are cyclic in nature, why sometimes thoughts are negative. But maybe that was also the first time you were thinking about the mind, or the pattern of thinking, or the thoughts. So sometimes the rough patch makes you conscious about the existential process, the core existential process which runs inside us, in our minds. So this situation that happens, you can name it, label it in whichever way, but it is also giving you a hint that there is a problem in you, around you. You have to solve it, right? So you introspect, and no one knows better than you. You know yourself, right? So you would have introspected. Whatever you know may be limited, because sometimes at earlier age we have limited perception. I have gone through it. I even till 27, 28, I didn't know my passion. But when I knew how I think, how I work, how my mind works well, positively, so I aligned myself to that. But when things like depression or disturbance in thoughts happen, it also gives you an opportunity to now start thinking that even thoughts can create a big barrier in front of you in your own life. Your own thoughts can become a roadblock, or a looks like a dead end sometimes to many people. But again, it is the limited perception of your mind. And mind, as it can limit you, it is also the smartest, sharpest, most advanced tool of the creation. Human mind is the best gadget on the planet Earth. So the problem is the mental health, which has been proposed to many institutions, many governments all across the world, that it should be part of our curriculum. Individuals, as you, me, we have never been exposed to mental education since our childhood, or not in a very positive or good extent, or in a very mature extent. So when we start understanding ourselves, our thoughts, and we share it, like we were discussing earlier, so we should communicate, we should reflect what we are thinking, and we should consult others. If we are not consulting, probably mind is playing another game and testing your ego and checking. You have a problem, but you are not sharing. You don't know how to express, but this thought itself is restrictive in nature. Say I don't know what is happening, but this happens, that happens. That is what psychologists do, and psychiatrists do, and many other people do. Even the other stream, that is spirituality, they also discuss all these deep concepts, whether it is in Vedas or Gita. All these things are discussed very deeply, but at a certain age sometimes we are not exposed to. And this is the point, when you think it is a depression or something and it is struck first time, this is also an opportunity to understand the other wisdom, knowledge, which is documented in psychology, psychiatry, neuroscience, philosophies, and spirituality. So it is time to look beyond. So ultimately, it is the time to learn yourself and the other good work that people have done through science and wisdom. So I think, does that answers your question pretty much on concept level?
Yeah, yes, it does. And that was back in 2016, 17. So
Yeah.
solution already मिल गया था. Basically, I'm way past it now. अभी बहुत खुश हूँ. I'm happy, as you can see.
Exactly.
But I think
So as you can see, and others can understand, sometimes people think, who are going through it first time, that they, like I said, it is a dead end and there are no solutions. That is just their perception, as far as they can see, as far as they can understand, based on their limited understand. limited perception and understanding. But as we discuss, open up, dropping our ego, keeping it aside, because if it is too troublesome, it is a life and death situation. If it is anyway counterproductive, you are wasting your time sitting thinking with yourself, not able to find a solution. Discuss with someone, and look forward to a purpose like we discussed. This purpose can be two-way. It can be solely your purpose, of course, self-improvement. If you don't have a purpose, if you're a selfless being, find a purpose in the surrounding. There are many people where you can just help by teaching them English, helping them solve mathematics, giving them food, helping them in some way or the other. Sometimes either we are too self-centric, or we are not looking for solution. So don't restrict yourself, do something, keep exposing yourself, keep talking to people, and you will definitely find solution. And be honest when you are sharing your challenges, problems, or thoughts with whosoever.
There you go, guys. You need to share, open up, and of course, force नहीं कर रहे हैं. What usually happens is tell us, हमको बताओ, आके बताओ क्या problem है. So don't pressurize, but keep yourself open to anyone who wants to talk to you or approach you for anything.
Yeah, and there are many anonymous channels. Like very well, you opened up that platform in this session also. People can ping anonymously, and or to one person whom they trust. And there are many challenges with the era of technology, globalization. You can talk to a psychologist in US, a person in US can talk to people in India. So all the platforms are open. Quora is open. Start reading. There are self-help books. Don't give up. Keep looking for solution. Problem statement. Those who have studied research or studying research or have done research, there is a synonym of problem, that is an opportunity, because from problem you go to opportunity. Problem statement or opportunity statements, both are used interchangeably in world's biggest forums, institutions, companies, sales deeds, etc.
Right. So fortunately, even during that small patch period, during that difficult period, ganda food khaya nahi hai. I was eating well. I was working out. So that is something that was a positive out of everything. So with that being said, I want to hand it over to Mr. Sen. Over to you.
Thank you, Samad. Good evening. Namaskar. Welcome to the show. Welcome, Mr. Kapil Chakara. And you gave a very good background.
Mr. Sen.
Now,
Okay.
I want to just explore on that. And I want Aditya's help on this. First question to Aditya, one word answer, please, Aditya. It is, how many hours in a lifetime do we spend in a career?
Oh, that one. Yeah, I usually ask this question to my students. So I would say 80,000 to 1 lakh for an average person. And for a person who works really hard and lives really long, somebody like an Amitabh Bachchan would be 1,20,000 to 1,40,000 hours.
So we are looking at 80,000 hours, which is roughly around 40 years of work at 2,000 hours a year. That's roughly what it is. It can be more, as Aditya said. Now, obviously, this 80,000, let's stay with 80,000. Now, this 80,000 has got various phases. It's not going to be the same when the first hour starts, and it's not going to be the same when the last hour it gets over.
Right.
Now what happens is, one of the phenomena that I have noticed, and I must have done over 80,000, close to 100,000 perhaps, or whatever it is. One of the things which I have noticed is people go through a certain change process in this journey of this 80,000 plus hours. And so would you look at it as different stages in the journey? And like milestones hota hai. I mean, when you're going on a journey, there are milestones. There are halts, chai pani peena hai, like you have to take a rest and all of those things. So how do you look at this journey? Because it's a very long journey. It's a lifelong journey, and it doesn't matter what career you're in. So, are there different stages in this career that has different implications on the mindset?
Okay. Aditya, you want to go first?
Sure. So, on my end, I think it's a long and arduous journey because not always it is very rewarding, and at times you might lose some patience because, especially, I keep talking to people, and many people are not very happy with their jobs. Not because they're not doing something that they love, but just because the corporations that they are in, there is always some problem or the other. Somebody has to work long hours, somebody might not be getting the amount of creative freedom that he or she needs, somebody might not be getting the required support that he or she needs to understand the thing first and then do it. And some people have very hard deadlines, some people have their office very far from home, some people have not so positively linked group of people with them. So all these are small problems which people have. And what I have realized is that it will never be perfect. The moment you're starting out, you might not have money, but you have a lot of creative freedom. And later on, it changes to something else. You have enough finances insured for you, probably, but you might not have that amount of creative freedom. You might have much harder deadlines, and you might have a family to manage by that time. You're 30, 35. So there are different stages, and different times need different strategies of management. So it's not always the same strategy you can carry to manage it, according to me, but it is the same fundamental principles that you carry. And today, I think the aim of this whole discussion is to arrive at those fundamental principles, that how do you think in a way
Yeah.
that helps you solve all these problems as you keep coming across them. So my one suggestion, to anyone who's watching this would be, and again, you can agree or disagree. I'm not an expert on this, but I've seen that life will never be perfect. So if you can just try to adjust to the smaller things and then pick your battles. So, if there is something really wrong happening at your workplace, or, if you're in a vicinity, something really wrong is happening, then fight against it, take a stand. But otherwise, try and do your best in the situation that you're given. And, don't expect too much out of the results, because it's the process where the fun really is. And if you really enjoy the process, learning will automatically come out. You'll automatically achieve the best results. So that is my thinking about it. Now, Kapil sir.
You said some very important points, and I'll come
Right.
back to that
Thank you.
later.
Yeah. So, starting from Mr. Sen, I think the one very crucial element or factor mathematically, quantitatively, that Mr. Sen has highlighted, 80,000 hours or 100,000 hours. This is very clear that it is a crucial, quantum of your life, and don't overlook it. Don't be casual about it. And it is your life. It is not a race, actually. It looks like a race, बट इट इज़ योर 80,000 आवर्स. जैसे वो कौन सी मूवी है, चक दे, उसमें बोलते हैं ना, ये 70 मिनट, हारो या जीतो उससे फर्क नहीं पड़ता, तुमने 70 मिनट
कोई छीन नहीं सकता,
कैसे दिए वो नहीं छीन सकता. तो वो 80,000 का आप जो मर्जी नैरेटिव दो, वो ऑनेस्ट होना चाहिए, उसमें ऑनेस्ट एफर्ट डालो जो भी मन करता है. एंड इन द कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ स्टेजेस, यस देयर आर स्टेजेस, फेजेस और सिचुएशंस which influence your ability at times. It tests your ability at times. कि 10th मैंने लिखा भी था ये कहीं तो, कि don't stop at 10th or 12th और graduation और post graduation और PhD और शादी हो गई तो करियर रुक गया या ग्रोथ रुक गई या लर्निंग रुक गई. लाइक आदित्य सेड कि प्रोसेस ऑफ लर्निंग शुड नॉट स्टॉप. So it is 80,000 or 100,000 or 200,000. Anything and everything that you are learning is adding, you are experiencing as it is adding to your learning, and can somewhere plan and add in your career or job or skill set. So being, like I said, being aware of the changes, whether it is through the changes, don't carry any philosophy कि मैंने 10th में टॉप कर लिया, अब मेरा सब कुछ हो जाएगा, 12th में हो गया. Or don't set too rigid expectations कि especially when it is comparative. Have expectations from you that you will improve and grow and learn, right? But don't compare like you are in a rat race कि ने इतना नहीं लाया तो मेरी लाइफ खत्म हो गई और मैं कुछ भी कर लूँगा, मतलब नेक्स्ट स्टेज आएगी नहीं। और जो नेक्स्ट स्टेज है और फेज है वो आपको फिर भी उतनी इक्वल अपॉर्चुनिटी देगा लर्निंग की, राइट? तो वो उसके लिए बिल्कुल ओपन रहना है और बिल्कुल फिलॉसफीज नहीं रखनी चाहिए कि अगर, और किसी क्वांटिटेटिव नहीं होती लाइफ, बट क्वांटिटेटिवनेस हमें ये बताती है कि इट इज़ 1/3 ऑफ योर लाइफ, 1/2 of your life, you are thinking about career. So that means it is important. It is like society, it will always tell you, your behavior is important, but it will not create you from inside. What creates you from inside is qualitative. So also enjoy the process and stages where you are putting 100 hours or 80 hours or 80,000 hours. Anything and everything that you are doing, if it is a learning process and enjoyable process, which I realized when I came to psychology. Before that, it was not so much. Maybe the enjoyable stages or phases or parts of my life was around adventure or sports. Education में मुझे ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट नहीं आता था, लेकिन नहीं आता था कोई नहीं, आप स्पोर्ट्स से बहुत कुछ सीखते हो। मुझे पता है कि 45 डिग्री पे फिजिक्स में अगर बॉल फेंकेंगे या शॉट मारेंगे तो सबसे दूर जाएगी। तो समटाइम्स यू हैव टू रिलेट विद द प्रैक्टिकलिटी एस्पेक्ट। सिर्फ नंबर लाना एम नहीं है, हमारा एम है लर्निंग। बहुत सारे ऐसे इंडिविजुअल्स हैं जो टॉप करते हैं, बट एग्ज़ाम होने के बाद उनका एम सिर्फ compete करके टॉप करना है। एग्ज़ाम होने के बाद उनको कुछ याद नहीं रहता, लेकिन ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या था? लर्निंग। तो the context should be very clear कि where you are spending your 80,000 hours or where is your career. It is an enjoyable process, and result, if the process is enjoyable, you are enjoying, you are doing it fluently, then result or your goals are consequences. They are ought to happen. If that aligns with your thinking, Mr. Singh.
That's a brilliant response. And
Mr. Sen, just one thing. Kapil sir, when you're not speaking, there's a lot of noise from your mic. So if you could just mute when you're speaking. Thank you so much. Mr. Sen, back to you. And
Thank
Mr.
you,
Sen, I have just one more thing, only one more question, because there's a lot of audience questions and I really want to get into their questions. So sorry to have to do this to you, but one question more.
No, I'm not going to ask any more questions. I'm just going to say that was a brilliant response. And actually, that's a discussion that we can have, and it can benefit the audience. But since Samant has laid down the rule, I'll hand it back to him.
No, you can take one more question or another 5 to say 8 minutes.
Okay, because what I'm going to say is going to take some time. Because what I'm going to talk about is the environment that Aditya talked about. And we all know that people do not leave jobs. People leave toxic environments. People do not leave jobs. They leave toxic managers. The corporate has got no problem. It's the individuals in the problem that have in the corporate that have a problem, and they make life miserable. And that's what Aditya talked about, and that's what Kapil also talked about. And one of the things which Kapil talked about is the learning process. So the person who's come first class first, topper, IIT topper, and I've worked with these people. I'm telling you from real life experience. The guy was a high school, higher secondary +2 topper, first in class, first in the board, first in IIT. But the guy could not do a single piece of work. Why? Because there was an expectation gap. I am the best. But in a corporate world, in a working world, whether you're doing an entrepreneurship or whatever, you are just another person who's going to give in your 8-10 hours a day and go home. No one cares whether you came first or last. So my first question on that is, what is your response to that, both of you, Aditya and Kapil? And then I have a follow-up question on the toxic environment.
Okay.
So who's going to go first?
Shall I go, Aditya, first? Yeah, this time I am eager to, kind of pitch in one learning and aspect, that is best is is a good goal setting, but when it is comparative, it can really kill you. And I prefer the better word, the better is a better word than best, because it tells you continuous improvement, and
Correct.
you don't think you are best. It stops you from attaching pride, which is also it is and in the context of my own learning.
I think Kapil sir is the latest victim of the network problem. We'll wait for a few seconds. Kapil sir, if you're with us, please do continue, or maybe repeat the last 15 seconds, please.
No, it's not there. Aditya, why
Oh,
don't you
is
pick it up?
Am I audible also?
Oh, it's back.
Yeah, it's clear now. Yeah.
No. Aditya, why don't you?
I was being heard, but shayad. Uh,
Yeah, the tech issue I think has come up. Can you hear me, guys? Though?
Yeah. So why don't you say something on this?
Right. So, on my end, I think I can talk from an entrepreneurial point of view. So, because me and Samant, we've been working for a while at Pro Bono. And when I started this, obviously, I was headhunting for people who can help us do, who can help us reach out to more students. So these can be school heads, these can be NGO heads, CSR heads, etc. So even though I have not really worked at a corporate, I do understand that there can be sometimes problems in compatibility with people. So we always have these discussions, me, Samant, and the team, that sometimes the clients are rude, sometimes the clients are really nice, and sometimes the same client is very rude at certain points and very nice at some points. So we sometimes think that should we be working with a client who's rude? But at the same time, we also think that if we have to scale across India, if we have to reach out to as many students as we want to, maybe 1 lakh, maybe 10 lakh, maybe 1 crore, we have to work with all kinds of people, all kinds of NGOs, people who speak different languages, are from different cultures, have different opinions, and have different expectations and different ways to look at education, which might or might not match with us exactly. Now, on my end, I really think that we should adjust also. Sometimes we are too fast in judging the other person. Especially as an entrepreneur, I can say this because it's very true that India, a diverse country such as India, we have to work with so many different people. I cannot expect every person to like me or to like Samant or to like my team members. Maybe the client does not like any of my team members. Can happen. But if the job is getting done, I think it is very good if all of us can just start to adjust more with each other, understand each other's pain, understand each other's expectations, and deliver to that. Whether or not we like each other's personal opinions or personalities is a different thing. So that is one. Adjusting is very important. I think sometimes you're too sensitive regarding adaptation, that okay, if 3-4 people are speaking anything bad about me, I'll not work in this environment. However, I also know when to draw a line. So if anything is coming across as outright disrespectful, which happens sometimes I adjust to that too for a while. That okay, is it momentary or is it going to stay? If the person maybe realizes a day or two later, they might apologize or they might make up for it. But if it is a regular feature, if disrespect or shaming or kind of not acknowledging or recognizing your work becomes a daily feature or a regular feature, then it is very important to draw a line and choose the people you want to work with. You can be in a job, you can be as an entrepreneur or a freelancer. It is very important to choose. And hence, I believe that it should be a very good balance between adaptation, since if you want to become a national or a global professional, you need to work with a lot of people and you need to be somebody who adapts very well with all different kinds of people and can drive them towards a common goal. At the same time, you also need to draw the line where there is a lot of disrespect or a lot of, or rather a lack of recognition for your work. So that balance needs to be stricken very well. So that's
I'll come back to that. I'll come back to that. Kapil.
Am I audible?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I was saying your question was somewhere around that if someone thinks I am the best or fighting for that. So for me, the better word is better. So you should not stick to the best approach, because it is comparative in nature. And best is like you are saying you are the best and rest are not. It is always better compete with yourself and be better of yourself every now and then. There are 2 3 things, rule of thumbs that I believe in as a philosophy here, that don't become the other, don't become the opposite of the other. Okay, become the best of you, better of you. Okay, so that is one approach, and the other is you don't change companies, you don't change bosses. Sorry, you don't change companies, you change your bosses, right? This is what we feel in corporate world also this happens. But like in the previous question, we were talking about stages, and in different stages you have different relationships. When you were small, you were a child, you had a parent child relationship primarily. Then you got into peer relationship, then maybe other boyfriend, girlfriend, partner. Then corporate is unavoidable, of course, in basically out in the market, in the industry. So that's where you learn that they will sometimes not change. You have to adjust and adapt, like what Aditya said. So that is what is the everyone has. We have good survival instincts, everyone, and we should try and adapt and go by the situation and try and conduct it gracefully rather than getting succumbed by others' action. We should anyway never privilege the other person to affect us. We should know how to not get affected. The topic is mental health. You should gradually, over the period of time, learn how to take care of your thoughts, mental health, how to, जैसे क्रिकेट में कट लगाते हैं ना, तो किसी ने कुछ बोला नहीं तो हमें कट मार के उसे डिटेक्ट करना आना चाहिए. तो
I think the tech issues are back now.
Okay, I got that. Now, the toxic environment exists, whether it's an entrepreneurship, whether it's a corporate, whether it's the government, whether it's the social development, in any sector. And that toxic environment is there. It depends on how we deal with it. And now I'm going to talk about the 3 roles that play out, and I want Kapil to really give his response to this. So what happens in a toxic environment is you have a victim, जिसको victimize किया जा रहा है. Then you have a persecutor, जिसने सता रहा है. The role that is satawing, like that's right in the word, the victim. And then you have someone who tries to rescue the victim.
right.
And makes matters worse.
Hmm.
So now, how do you make this triangle? This is a love triangle. So you have a victim, you have a persecutor,
Yeah,
जो
I love
सता रहा है, and you have
I
a
love
rescuer
triangle.
who is not invited to rescue, but आके बहुत सारा, he gives a lot of advice. Now, how do you rescue
समझ
the
गया.
victim in this sort
So
of a
पहले तो-
situation and make that person feel empowered? Because if that doesn't happen, then what we call depression
That's
sets
the-
in. And all the other things that associated with that
Yeah.
coming.
So
And a lot of the problem is with the rescuer, the guy who's trying to rescue. That guy is uninvited. So yeah, go ahead.
power, but it happens over. So you do hand holding, and the individual who is a sufferer or a victim needs to understand that sometimes you are too predictable, sometimes you are too innocent, and sometimes you have given your own mind and body's remote control to the other person. First, one should know your body, your mind. Psychology says theory of do. Spirituality says there is body, mind, and spirit. Everything is here within you. No one has the privilege to hit and affect you, first of all. So if it is not your well-wisher, then you should not give your remote control to anyone who's not your well-wisher. Ideally, not to your well-wishers also. It is your life, your journey. You should know when what button is clicked by you, and then things should happen. It happens over the period of time. So don't give privileges to people who are, and you should not be a predictable person to those who are creating toxic environments for you. Those who are hand holding, one day, yes, you can test them, but ultimately you are your own responsibility. Like you said in your question, it is towards self actualization, self realization, and self empowerment. So you need to learn if the helper is doing something that you can also start doing. And when you start, you will know that game better. That is what psychologists should ideally do. That they should understand the whole game, whole dynamics of mind, external situations around that person, protecting factors and bothering areas. Then highlight the strengths. You always, sometimes you are able to conquer your weaknesses through your strengths. So those who are well-wishers or professionals are able to highlight the strengths of the individuals, and those, through those strengths there are pathways, there are hopes, which take you out of your problems. All you need to do is, stay focused. Like it is, don't try to become dependent, because we are born dependent, especially men. Human beings are very dependent offspring. But after you are an adult, 15, 16, keep working on yourself. Take inputs, सुनो सबकी, करो अपनी. तो किसी पे डिपेंडेंट मत हो, स्पून फीडिंग मत लो. इवन साइकोलॉजिस्ट पे डिपेंडेंट ना हो. कोई अगर आपको सिर्फ आके ये बता रहा है ये कर दो और वो कर दो, वो अच्छा तरीका नहीं है. इवन टीचर्स डोंट डू इट. They tell you the concepts, and then you custom fit in your life and find solutions and create solutions. That's what makes you.
Okay, so that was good. I think
I
think
hope I was audible.
yeah, you were audible. Perfectly okay. So it's basically, people, you have to find your own empowerment, and as Kapil said, sabka suno lekin apna karo. That is very important. And do not give your button to somebody else. Keep it with yourself. You're unique. Remember, you're always unique, and have a unique gift to give to the world.
That is why.
And Haji,
never works.
We missed the last part.
Yes, you are unique. Yeah.
Kapil sir, if you're on mobile network, maybe if you can switch to the Wi-Fi or something.
No, I am on.
So like.
So Saman, till then you can maybe start reading out the
comments.
comments.
Am I back? Am I audible?
Yeah, you're back. Yes.
It's clear now.
Yeah, you were adding a sentence.
Adit. Yeah,
Yes,
I
sir.
was saying. Yeah, I forgot what I was saying.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
Samad, let's now go back to the audience and then take it from there.
Right. So I have firstly, there's a string of comments by Kapil Verma. So heads up. I feel in career or life, we only have two choices. One, enjoy the current state, or two, make an effort to change the current state. And I think we've talked about this previously as well on one of the podcasts. And Kapil's second comment, but it's the people who make the environment toxic. I've worked with many IT companies, but still the best was the one which had a strong HR team. And it was told to the employees that the priority for each employee is the client, company and team. But in most of the companies, people think that they are working for a manager. And the third comment from Kapil Verma, it is important for corporates to build a culture where employees feel that they are working with each other and not for each other.
Very, very good, valid points. And unfortunately, in this, race of money, success, materialism and economics. Everything is seen by material and success by finances, and we have forgotten the value of emotions. So we work with people, and we are also working because people want to live. We are not working because we want to create the highest tower in some city. We are working because we have to live, we have to earn bread and butter. But in this whole sometimes in many companies corporate drama, it is only the goals that matters, the targets that matter. And yes, client is important, so people should be taught that it is like we were discussing in the previous point. The life starts from dependency, we become independent, then we become interdependent. So when Kapil Verma is saying clients need should be understood, people's needs should be understood, and management should be understood. So it is an ecosystem. So client is giving you an opportunity and you are catering to it, but you cannot do it at the cost of emotions, or not catering or addressing human emotions. It should be well addressed. And if people are, because this topic is again from career point of view, problem happens when people are only working to earn money but they are not aligned with their career interests, passions. That is where the results don't come, and HR creates problem, or management creates problem, or client is unhappy. Yes, in the base fundamental aspect of what we are discussing, the mental clarity should be there. Why I am working in a company? I need money, and client needs results. That should be there. And there should be your own skill aligned with your career and interest and passion. If that can be there, everyone in that ecosystem can be made happy.
Great. There's a comment by, let's see. There's a comment by Anita ji who says, I hate emotionless people who take everything normal and who say, ऐसे ही होता है, personal feeling कहीं काम नहीं आती. And to which Krishna says, I strongly agree with your point, ma'am. And I guess people should realize that emotions make us powerful too.
Absolutely. So nowadays, there was an era from, I think, 70s, 80s, 90s until early maybe 2000. Even now it is considered. So in mental health, the extreme situations is when you declare someone IDD, right, or MR, mentally retarded. That is one end of the spectrum, where you judge that by looking at the IQ. But nowadays, even corporates are giving value to EQ. Okay, so emotional quotient. It is more popular nowadays than IQ, because, like in the previous question or comment, Mr. Sain said, someone is from IIT or from the top college, has best of the intelligence, but unable to implement that knowledge. And that's where Aditya mentioned, it is your adaptive skill that you apply your knowledge is your adaptive. So application is important. And in the context of emotions, emotion is because we are a social being. Emotion is because you make relationships. Those who are saying emotions कुछ नहीं होता या emotionless नहीं होता, उनको किसी जगह अकेले छोड़ दो, उनको अपने इमोशन भी समझ आ जाएंगे और दूसरे इमोशन की वैल्यू भी समझ में आ जाएगी. और अगर इमोशन नहीं होते तो शायद पेरेंटिंग नहीं होती. The crux of the best emotion, best relationship is emotion. That is motherhood. Okay. And EQ is doing well. It is very well, acknowledged by all the industries. We have created a lot of convenience in our society, in our industry, everywhere. Nowadays, we have recliner and so much stuff, business class, which was not there earlier. But somewhere we have missed addressing the emotions only. That is why suicidal rates are going high. It is all-time high in today's date, and that is where we are talking about mental health. So जो emotion नहीं समझता, आप उसको मत समझो, उसको आप कंसिडर ही मत करो. बेसिकली हमें हर जैसे इससे एक और रिलेटेड है कि कई लोग मिस्टेकनली सोचते हैं कि हमें हर चीज़ को वैल्यू करनी है, हर चीज़ को इम्पोर्टेंस देनी है. तो हमारे क्या होता है फूड चेन में, मगरमच्छ है, सांप है, अगर मगरमच्छ काटता है, शार्क पानी में काटती है, तो हम उसको गले नहीं लगा सकते इमोशनली. तो वो उसका इमोशन है, उसका टॉक्सिक इमोशन हो सकता है, राइट? तो ऐसे लोग होते हैं, इट इज ओके, वी कैन एक्सेप्ट, बट वी डोंट नीड टू हग देम बिकॉज दे कैन हर्ट यू. Accept them from a distance and keep the focus on yourself. Don't waste your time on emotionless people.
And one thing I think Mr. Sen and Aditya will say this. I keep talking about this term called stoicism, being a stoic person, which is basically being indifferent to the obvious and consequences of nature. But then people हमेशा misunderstand कर लेते हैं कि being stoic and being emotional are the same thing. Emotionless are the same thing, which is
Right.
not true. Being stoic
Right.
is where you accept the consequences of life and you carry
Yeah.
on with your life. लेकिन being emotionless is अच्छा मेरा बच्चा फर्स्ट आ गया ठीक है जाओ. That's a different thing entirely. That's being
Yeah,
dismissive
basically,
and
yeah. So, if I may add, so emotion is to sense, realize that, something is sad, something is happy, something is bad. But ultimately, you live your life based on your actions. And clearly, actions are not emotions. Action can be influenced by emotions. But the, one mantra that is taught in psychology or spirituality also, the word is balance. So one should know how to strike emotional balance in any and every situation. Emotion should be there. You should be capable of sensing the emotions, yours and others. That makes you sensitive. But doing an appropriate action in a balanced way, not getting overwhelmed, and emotion should not restrict you. It should make you functional. First of all, you have sensed it. That means, okay, you have understood, but now what you should do? Again, solution-centric approach. Create that space which is good for you, for the emotions and everything. So, and one should know, because the other word is which confuses people is attachment and detachment. So you are attached because of your uncontrolled emotions, because of your compulsive emotions. But detachment doesn't mean you become insensitive. I'm trying to explain in a different way. Detachment means you understand, but you are not attached or driven by your emotions. You understand every bit of it, but you can see it from a distance and you can act, fully, not bound by emotions.
thank you
Just
so.
add to that, Samant, one sentence. What I have understood in my life so far is if I separate the person from the process or the work, that's it. So the emotion can be with a person, but the work is emotionless. So the same person can give me a firing for the work, but that's for the work. It's not because the person doesn't like me or something. That's a different game altogether. So I have lived my life separating the two. And I found that it works wonderfully.
Yeah. So if I don't know how many have read Deepak Chopra, he says once you have defined your goal, which may be based on your emotion, then you have to detach yourself from the goal and focus on the steps that you perform, and through your skills, your aptitude, your passion, it will take you in that same direction or maybe beyond it, maybe bigger. So emotions को थोड़ी समझ के, it is like requirement gathering. अगर मैं corporate world की बात करूँ, आपने requirement gather करी, उसके बाद आप रोज requirement नहीं देखोगे, आपने एक plan बना लिया, design बना लिया, then you execute that. And process is very important, like you said, Mr. Singh.
Right, so there are two questions, one from Sristi and the other question from Krishna. थोड़ा बहुत I think these are generic, not exactly career related, लेकिन both are related to depression and how to deal with that. So मैं दोनों का ही question पढ़ लेता हूँ. So firstly, सृष्टि सोना ने बोला है, गुड इवनिंग सर, टुडे माय क्वेश्चन इज कि लोग डिप्रेशन में आकर सुसाइड करते हैं, उन्हें कैसे हम मोटिवेट कर सकते हैं कि वो ऐसा ना करे, क्योंकि इससे फैमिली मेंबर्स को कितनी प्रॉब्लम होती है. एंड देयर इज कृष्णा's क्वेश्चन who says what to do if we are having depression from a long time because of anxiety, thinking about possible negative outcomes, Murphy's Law, and many not so serious issues that look so serious and real at that particular moment. Also, not having enough understanding from family and friends, even upon sharing our thoughts. And as a student, not having enough resources to go out for a counselor or a psychologist, what can be the basic step to come out of this zone, which looks so vulnerable and disturbing at that moment?
Okay. So, first question first, right? I think it was around depression, which causes suicide and which leads to pain across, across your family members and stuff. Impact is really bad. So the one who's grieving, who's in pain, who's either in depression, things like that. So no doubt they are in a very difficult situation, and we cannot just say don't suicide without understanding the dynamics of his or her mind. So there are professionals that should be engaged, especially as soon as the word suicide is understood. It has various stages, from ideation to planning to attempts and stuff. But people need to understand. So the question is how to explain them. Everyone should understand. In psychology, also the psychology starts from the theory of body and mind, body of theory of duality. So there is body and mind. So mind is, like I said in one of the earlier questions also, that mind is one of the smartest gadgets, but we don't have the user manual how to use it. So it is an engine which can process a lot of data. It can process a lot of negative data also. Sometimes you don't know at the outset or from the outside that what is influencing that individual to take that grave step, ending that life. I call it breaking the body. Okay, it cannot be done just by thinking. I don't know people who have done suicide just by thinking, just by applying mind. They have to use the body to break the body. Okay, so it is very important. There is a very simple exercise. There are two ways. So logically, I will explain. Okay, very simply. Those who think mind is the utmost important thing in life, they should try and play with their own mind and check, can they control their mind completely. It doesn't happen. In psychology or sociology, it is very well researched and defined. 80% of the human beings, most of all the human beings are governed 80% by their unconscious mind and emotion and thoughts. Okay, so same is in sociology. 80% of the society is unconscious, at a level. So mind is not the thing. It is not the most supreme thing, especially based on its tendencies. जब हम कोई फोन खरीदते हैं तो वो डिफॉल्ट सेटिंग्स में आता है. Default settings may not be very useful or a very good utility for you. You always customize it. Same as with mind. In default settings, you may have some negative tendencies. You may have some blockers. You may have some intrusive thoughts. You may have a cyclic thought habit. Discuss it with others. Mind is such a tool. It can also test you, and it can also, kind of take you to that level, but when handled properly. Because we as an individuals in our schools have never taught mental education or never taught user manual how mind works. Yoga claims that we teach how mind works, how we can use the body to train the mind. That is why yoga therapy is part of psychiatric treatments and psychological treatments. So catch here is, you have to use the body, because body never lies. You have some problem, you are not well, it will show on your body. You have jaundice, it will come, yellowishness will come on your body. You have fever, your body will get hot. You are tired, your body language will become such. So sometimes you have to give more importance to your body than your mind. In that case, same scheme of thought, very simple logically, if you get it, body is important. Don't use your mind to kill the body. Body wants to live. Simple example, close your nose and mouth and don't breathe. If you are so mind driven, give this instruction to yourself and mind consciously, I will not breathe. This is the mind speaking, I will not breathe. Let's do this exercise. I can bet maximum no one can hold this position and not breathe for average 40 minutes to somewhere between 1.25 minutes. The body will either make you breathe out, breathe in, exhale, and inhale will start. Breathing process will start. Even if you faint, you will start breathing. So don't hurt the body. Don't you have not created the body. In the context of existential reality also, you are not the creator of this body. So don't hurt this body. The other aspect is those who are ending their life, they don't know whether the suffering will stop. It is again their mind saying, they are perceiving by it is philosophical, it is not psychological, but I'll be courageous enough to say it here, that you may have bigger challenges in some onward journey or spiritual journey. So don't take that chance where you don't know what will be the circumstances by doing something bad to your own body. Okay, so that is how we discourage in general, sometimes philosophically and things like that, but it is always case to case. Definitely, I think Anita ji was asking, so the individual who is showing any signs of suicides or talking too negative about the life, they should be connected to mental health workers, whether they are psychologists, gatekeepers, psychiatrists, and as simple as basic general physicians to start with.
Kapil sir, I want to add a quote to what you said. Suicide करने से we can't say तुम्हारे के तकलीफें दूर होंगी कि नहीं. You don't know what happens after
बिल्कुल.
that. We don't know. Nobody knows so
Correct.
far. We have theories regarding to whatever beliefs that you may have or faith.
Yeah.
But one thing is for
Yeah.
certain, and I want to quote Keanu Reeves on a particular
Yeah.
talk show. Is
Great.
he was asked what happens? What do you think happens after you die? He said,
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know that the people who love you will miss you.
Very good point. Great point. And I think this is what Anita ji's question was also, that people who are left behind, they mourn, they sorrow, their life is wasted, so don't hurt your loved ones. And when if you say I am selfish, I only want to think about me, that is one aspect. But otherwise, logically, so adding to Keanu Reeves' comment, there are three questions I ask. One, that this is something I read somewhere. If I ask this question to you or anyone, have you yourself died and now you are alive? Number one. Mostly the answer is no. Okay, 100% of the time. Second question is, do you know a person who is dead right now and he can talk to you and tell you about death? Mostly the answer is no, 100%. Third is, do you know a person who was dead and have become alive? The answer is again mostly no, and you rarely know. Now, there are some stories. I will quote a name. People can read this book. There is a book called Dying to Be Me by Anita Moorjani. So there is a testimony by her oncologist. He was suffering from terminal cancer, and there is a term called NDE, near death experience. So she died. Clinically she died actually. Okay, and she was in coma for many days. She was in Hong Kong. She was her brother was traveling from India to Hong Kong because she was in coma. It was her last stage, and miraculously, when she was in coma and when she was declared clinically dead by the oncologist of that doctor, of that hospital, she remembered everything that was happening. She remembered the conversation the doctor had with the husband of this lady, Anita Moorjani. She remembers what was happening in India when her brother was traveling, and all those people, if you will read the stories of everyone is saying, who have had near death experiences, they are saying life is important. It is precious. You have to be fearless. You have to look and see and enjoy the gifts and gratitude. As gratitude, you have to understand, and you have to just be express fearlessly. Do your natural expressions. People are there, they understand. But sometimes in your mind you don't express, you don't share, you don't go to psychologists, professional health workers, and sometimes unfortunate events happen.
Yeah, Anita Murjani has a TED talk as well. So
Yeah, it is.
that is
Yeah,
there.
Yeah, we can put it on the comments of this live stream after this session is over.
And I want to read a comment by R. Anita ji, who says, when we live our own life in every moment, in order to make every aspect of our life joyful, that is the best life. And Aditya has a message.
I'll quickly add, and I think we missed the other question from other gentlemen. But living in now is so important because many people have heard this and conditioned. We have heard this all our previous life. I mean, childhood and earlier life. Like history repeats itself. History will only repeat itself if you are driven by tendencies. Even in science, in the realm of creation, in the celestial world, meaning planets, sun, they are moving in such a high speed, in such a distinct path, that in the schema of existence also, history is not repeating itself. Every moment is new, every moment has new opportunities, and you should just work towards solving those problems or looking for help. Don't be pessimistic or think if something has not worked in the past or something has not worked for someone, whether it is a celebrity or no one. Okay, that doesn't mean they are leaving behind a solution. They are not leaving behind a solution. They are leaving behind a bad example.
And I want to hand it over to Aditya, who has a message for everybody. So Aditya, over to you.
Thank you so much, Samant, and it has been a pleasure to listen to Kapil sir talk and his experiences and his insights for every one of us. I think I really hope that the audience that is watching was helped by his insights today. And one message which I have is that I was an engineering aspirant back in class 10th, so I took up non-medical science. I gave the IIT exam, could not clear it, and hence I did not do my computer science engineering from IIT Delhi, which I really wanted to do it from. And at that time, I was really sad, guys. So there are these times when students, especially the high performing ones, attach themselves to a result. And I had never really failed before that. I stood first in almost all the classes before that, and I used to score good percentages in school. So it was very tough for me to deal with failure. At that time, I really wanted to be a computer engineer, and I wanted to do it from the best institute in the country, or from one of the best institutes in the country. I had attached myself so much to that result that I could not look beyond that. So I thought that, okay, my life is over now. There is no better thing I can do. So either I have to crack IIT or my life is over. At that time, my parents really convinced me that, okay, you can go to any good college which you are getting admission to and do your whatever computer engineering or information technology from there. I was really angry, sad at that time, everything mixed in one small bag, and I was about to burst. And as life turned out, I did information technology engineering from IIST Shibpur, which was another Indian institute which got converted into an Indian institute after I took admission. So my dream started getting fulfilled on its own, even though I hadn't really performed well enough for it. And even if it hadn't happened, so I think that there are two cases. So one was that it went out pretty ideally. I did my information technology engineering from an Indian institute. And later on, I did not even take up a job which I was offered in computer engineering because I went on to become an entrepreneur. And I'm not pursuing computer science anymore. But at that time, I could not think beyond that. So now I'm an entrepreneur. So it does not really make any difference whether I would have pursued that from MIT or from IIT Delhi or from any institute. Wouldn't have mattered. I would have done this only, I feel. And even if life wouldn't have been so perfect, let us just think that maybe I wouldn't have done, I wouldn't have done entrepreneurship. I would have turned out to be an engineer, maybe a lesser paid one than an IIT graduate. Even then, I think if I would have enjoyed my college days, life would have been as happy as it is now, because actually, money or whatever recognition you get or whatever, achievements you have don't really matter that much as compared to the happiness that you get out of the process. And the biggest thing is not that I became an entrepreneur and I'm happy with my work. Even before that, I really enjoyed my college days. And I think that in itself is a great thing I could draw from the experience, that okay, if I would have been in any college, I would have just enjoyed. So why worry so much about small results, which are just small points in life which you can anyway cover up for later on if you are really so concerned about results. So my message here is that no matter however you're feeling after a certain exam or after a certain competitive exams results are out, or any place where you expect something and you're rejected from that expectation, I'm pretty sure life will present you with another opportunity. It is more important to be happy in the process. Happy in the process of preparing for that competitive exam, happy in the process of going through college rather than, thinking about what placement I'll get. So all these things are very highly important. And I think Kapil sir has something to say. So my message here is that please, if you feel bad about a competitive exam or any exam that you give, sleep over it, think of the opportunity that you can appear for next. And even though it might make you sad, you must have let yourself down, can happen. But try your best to do well in the next opportunity that you get. I think life presents you with many such opportunities. There will be many such competitive exams. If you can't crack JE, you can crack CAT later on. You can crack GATE later on. A lot of opportunities are there. So, yeah, Kapil sir.
And if you want to know more
Yeah,
about
thank you.
competitive exams, guys, go back and watch the episode with Randhir sir. Kapil sir, back to you.
Yeah, thank you. So good, Aditya, you mentioned all this. I was, going through my notes, and this was very important. I wanted to mention this result. Result is such a big issue sometimes that before results you suffer anxiety, nervousness, stress, and this causes various problems. And sometimes after the result you suffer ego, if it is pride, ego through pride sometimes. And many people fail after being successful. There have been numerous cases. 10th में बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स आए, 12th में खराब हो गया, और 12th में बहुत अच्छे मार्क्स आए, उसके बाद कुछ नहीं गया. तो मैंने शुरू में भी बोला था, लाइफ डजंट स्टॉप्स. एंड जजमेंटल नहीं होना चाहिए अपने लिए भी और किसी के लिए भी, किसी भी स्टेज में. लाइफ इज टू लिव, इट इज़ अ प्रोसेस, लर्निंग इज अ प्रोसेस. एंड इवन दिस इन कोरोना टाइम्स ऑल्सो, जितने भी स्कॉलर्स हैं हार्वर्ड के या MIT के या IIT के या ऑक्सफोर्ड के या इजराइल, जिसको भी आप बेस्ट माइंड्स मानते हो, जर्मनी और इंग्लैंड और कहीं भी, कोरोना का कोई कुछ नहीं बिगाड़ पा रहा. सो की इज लिव, इज इन लिविंग, इज इन लाइफ. खाना खाना है, खुश रहना है, ये किया. अगर आपके खुश रहने में प्रॉब्लम आ रही है, यू शुड एनीवे start discussing what's not working. And the more you will enjoy the journey of learning. Subjects पढ़ो तो enjoy करो, उसको YouTube पे पढ़ो, from career point of view, again bringing back the focus to career. तो YouTube पे पढ़ो, इंटरनेशनल ऑथर्स का टेड टॉक्स हैं, वो सब पढ़ा रहे हैं, सब कुछ है इस टाइम, टेक्नोलॉजी ड्रिवन है, यू आर एम्पावर्ड विद सो मेनी फीचर्स थ्रू टेक्नोलॉजी. तो enjoyment in learning, in doing career, whatever you are doing, you should enjoy. Otherwise keep exploring, and there is no rush. There is ऐसी कोई हमें पता नहीं है कि 2 दिन बाद या 1 साल बाद अगर हम और कुछ ढूंढेंगे. that is why it is important. From my own journey, I did my career counseling very late. कोई वो नहीं है कि अभी आज नहीं पता तो हमें डिप्रेस हो जाना है. तो मैंने 28 में प्लान किया, फिर मैंने एनरोल किया, मास्टर्स करी, अभी मैंने डिप्लोमा इन एनहांस किया, अभी मैं और पढ़ रहा हूँ. तो चलता रहेगा. द प्रोसेस शुड बी, you should keep enjoying the learning process. Okay,
Right,
I
and
think
I
that's
think-
it from my side, and I think we are over our
I
time.
just want to
So-
say something, what Aditya mentioned and said, and what Kapil said also. There is a saying in Irish, Ireland as a country. So what they
Yeah.
say is, if one door closes, another door opens.
yeah,
True.
And that's life.
keep looking.
That is very true. It's almost like cricket. अगर आपने एक बॉल मिस कर दी, वो एक ही बॉल थी, वो JEE एग्जाम मेरी लाइफ का एक बॉल था जिसे मैंने मिस कर दिया, और काफी बॉल्स आती रहेंगी, मैं खेलूंगा अगर ढंग से तो एक ना एक बॉल को तो मार ही दूंगा मैं. and I, who knows, if I focus well enough, I might score 100. But हाँ,
और
उसके लिए हर वक्त
अदरवाइज हार भी गए, इंजॉय करके आओ ना। अभी क्या हो
वो
गया
तो है।
स्कूल बच्चे, अभी लोगों को बोला गया पेरेंट्स को कि बच्चों को स्पोर्ट्स कराओ, पढ़ाई का प्रेशर बहुत है, तो उन्होंने स्पोर्ट्स में प्रेशर डाल दिया, फर्स्ट आना है और बड़े बड़े बैग लेके डाल रहे हैं। वहां पे भी एक गोल सेटिंग इतनी हैवी कर दिया उनके ऊपर कि स्पोर्ट्स कर रहे हो तो स्पोर्ट्स में भी यू शुड बी द बेस्ट। स्पोर्ट्स
true.
होता है खेलने के लिए।
खेलने के
और
लिए।
एक बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट था जो मैंने प्रिपेयर किया था कि मैं बोलूँगा, फॉर गुड मेंटल हेल्थ, विच हेल्प्स यू इन करियर, कीप यूजिंग योर बॉडी, do exercise, do yoga, do dance, do music. Music is one of the best exercises researched and approved by American Psychology Association. Music playing is the best exercise for brain, and music listening is also a very good exercise for the brain. So use your body, physical exercises, yoga, dancing, music, ये सब apply करो। and सिर्फ mind कई बार trap create करता है, use your body to overcome it.
True. And I think lot of insights there I cannot even summarize, but वो खेलने का है कि वही जो कपिल सर ने कहा, खेलो तो मजा करके खेलो। I was never a great cricketer, but if you still give me a bat and if you bowl to me, you can assure yourself कि I'll be very focused on the ball. भली मेरे से लगे ना लगे बैट पे बॉल, I'll play with my full concentration and I'll really enjoy. And I think जैसे मैं क्रिकेट खेलता हूँ, that is how life is to be played out. And I'll also advise myself for that. I'll also advise everyone who's watching for that.
Can I
And
just add
one
one
very last
small
point,
thing?
I'm sorry.
Sure.
I am also very
Good
keen
point,
and
Sam.
eager.
Yeah.
So when you use your body, neuroscientists have said this very loud and clear. I have a lot of content, maybe on this thread, on this Facebook live stream page. We can put that. People can maybe benefit from it. When you apply your body, you move, you dance, and you do so many things, the body metabolism changes. When the body metabolism changes, it creates a better hormonal chemistry in your body, and that is where you feel relaxed, you feel went out, oxygen to the mind is flowing better, and you can function properly whether you are playing or whether you are studying, in career or any aspect or in relationships. Okay, that's it. Done from my side. Zip.
I just wanted to say one small thing, responding to both Aditya and Kapil, is most of the time we get depressed, and this is from Zenism, ZEN, Japan. It is, if you stay in the past, we are depressed. If you go into the future, we are anxious, and that's what both of you talked about. The problem with, and if you're in the present, that's when you are happy. And it's not only you're happy, you can spot all the opportunities. We are living in a garden. Life is a garden of opportunities in different varieties and different flavors and colors. But if we stay in the past or stay in the future, we will not see that garden. So my only advice is stay in the present, not in the past and not in the future. Samanth, close it.
Well, actually, what Mr. Sen said, that's a dialogue from Kung Fu Panda 1. Yesterday is history, tomorrow is a mystery, today is a gift, which is why it's called present. And I think I want to hand it over to Aditya, who wants to do the outro today. So Aditya, over to you.
Oh, thank you. That's a great honor. And I firstly want to thank the audience for sticking around for so long. I think we have been talking quite a lot today, all of us. But the audience has been really patient in listening. And thank you so much, everyone who's listened to this, who has probably learned something from this. I certainly have learned a lot. And it just gives me a lot of positive vibe to go into my work today and maybe for the next month or two. Because I have learned a lot, and I think the positivity that I can maintain in my work probably will yield greater results also. And more than the results, I'll be enjoying the process much more. So guys, अगर आपको कोई भी issue हो life में और आपको लग रहा हो dead end आ गया है, and if you feel we are worthy enough to be shared, for that to be shared with, so जरूर share कीजिए. I'm not sure that whether we can offer a solution or not, but with people like Kapil sir by our side, we can definitely talk and we can definitely share the problem together maybe and see, how long we can sustain this.
And
So-
those who want to get in touch with Kapil sir, definitely private messages, and we'll connect you with Kapil sir, and we can see how you need help and what we can work on.
Definitely, guys. So our helping hand is always with you if you need it, and I genuinely hope we don't have to help you, so that you already
Yeah.
do very well and you don't need
Valid
our
point.
help. So
I
yeah.
wish I don't do any counselings.
Yeah, sure. So, guys, thank you so much for joining us as an audience. I hope you learned something. दुख बांटने से कम होता है और खुशी बांटने से बढ़ती है. तो खुशी और दुख दोनों बांटते रहिए और खुश रहिए. Most importantly, keep watching Pro Bono's Daily Life Career Guidance podcast because we'll be running a very special last 3 episodes starting from tomorrow, day after, and on 1st July. And 1st July is our 100th episode, so I would advise you not to miss any one episode after this. And guys, stay safe, take care of your family, take care of yourself, and we'll see you tomorrow with a new guest, same time at 6 p.m. And yeah, like Pro Bono's Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and as Saman says, you'll find all our content here. So guys, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye all.